Okay. Welcome to End User Input. I'm your host, Savannah. I've got Sound God Tayson.
Hi.
Resident Techie Justin.
Hello.
And sarcastic commentation master, Jason.
How come his changes every week?
Well, do you want yours to change every week? You just
commentation isn't even a word.
I made it up for the purposes of this podcast, and I don't need your attitude, mister.
Okay, fine.
All right, so this week, it's pretty light on the gaming news, and there's plenty of entertainment news, but it's all terrible. So we're going to switch up the format a little bit and just do smaller, bite-sized stories. And at the end, we'll have the guys vote on which one's the worst. So let's just dive right in. Our first story is that Lizard Squad is at it again. They launched a major DDoS attack on Destiny, Call of Duty Ghosts, Sims 4, Madden, a bunch of EA games. It seems like they're specifically targeting games that have to be always online, even for single player, which is just kind of a dick move, but what do you expect? What do we think? Rising trend? Keep going? Are they going to die out?
Lizard Squad's a bunch of assholes. I was trying to play Destiny the day that they knocked that offline.
I would agree. Like, it's like they got a lot of attention once, and now they're like, ooh, we can do this again. Yes.
Well, and attacking games that are mainly online only, if you're trying to screw with people's days, that's kind of a good strategic move,
Yeah, but it also makes it so if you ever even so much as mentioned you might be tangentially related to Lizard Squad, people are gonna just be like,
somebody's gonna beat the hell out of you. Yeah.
Luckily, a literary, fist to the face doesn't hurt as much as it does in real life. Being internet and all that.
That's true. At least they're not calling it bomb threats anymore.
I don't know if they think that they're like standing up for something, trying to say that always online shouldn't be a thing, but really they're just pissing people off because some games need always online. Some games, I agree, it's bullshit. Like Diablo 3 should never have been always online when it came out. But things like Destiny, that makes sense that it's always online. And then they go and attack it. And they might just have been attacking it because of the numerous problems that game has. But it's still a fun game, so leave it the fuck alone. Even though it does have problems.
Well, and with games, like you said, Destiny, that game was designed to be always online. My issue with always online games are, like you said, ones that are designed in such a way that they don't need that. I was really pissed off with Mass Effect 3 when they try and retrofit. Now you have to use Origin. Why? Because reasons.
Because EA needs people to use Origin. Because nobody's using Origin. That's why you have to use it.
It's like, hijack all this fan base who we know are going to buy the game because you have to. And we're going to use that to sledgehammer, against Steam.
Yes. Well, try. It's kind of hard to break down, an adamantium castle with, one sledgehammer.
I do kind of hope that somebody gets on a competitive, a true competitive basis with Steam's platform, because as benevolent as they are now, look at human history. It never lasts. So
I'm just hoping that there start being more services like Good Old Games that offer DRM free. Like, that's going to have to be the future eventually if they want to keep making stuff, because that's where everyone's going. Because I would rather play a $5 DRM free 20-year-old game than a $70 DRM ridden new game that's been out for a week.
And the servers are all buggy and...
As far as games go, I don't care about DRM. Some DRM schemes I actually like because I want the developer to get the money instead of the people at GameStop, the shittiest company in the world. Well, maybe not the shittiest, but pretty close. So some DRM
It's
schemes
like you may
I
want to
don't
hold off
mind.
on shittiest until later.
Yeah. But
Well, and I agree. DRM doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It's just there really has to be a contingency for always online. You know,
Yeah.
it can't just kick you off the second your connection drops. That's
that's
not
what I
acceptable.
don't like is always online DRM. And there is alternatives to that, but people got really pissed about that. And so the game companies don't want to piss off their customers, but when you have so many people pirating games, they're kind of left to do whatever they can do to make sure people aren't stealing their games. And the pirate attitude is, hey, well, if you make a good game, we'll actually buy it. And I would like to believe that, but so far I've seen that be complete and utter bullshit. Because I know tons of people who are like, no, I love this game. It's a great game. Oh, well, did you buy it? No, I'm not going to spend money on it. It's like, well, then fuck you. You don't deserve to play the game.
Yeah, that's true. But, like, even then, it's like, no matter what, generally speaking, people who pirate a game weren't going to buy it in the first place, no matter what their attitude. You know what I mean?
Well, and we had a very in-depth discussion about this yesterday, Tayson, because we were talking about how if you can make it simple enough or simpler to buy the game legitimately than to pirate it, people will do so. I know, and Jason, like you said, a lot of people do pirate these games, and I think that in general with anti-piracy measures, DRM overall, there's diminishing returns past a certain point because you are never going to erase all of it, and the harder you try, it almost seems like once you get to such draconian DRM measures that even normal people start saying, you know what, I'm just going to get the pirated version because that's like...
What was it Princess Leia said in Star Wars? The more you tighten your grip, the more the systems will slip through your fingers.
Exactly.
That was a good scene.
Yeah. You know what? That whole movie was just one really good scene.
Well, anyway, to sum up, Lizard Squad's a bunch of dicks. DRM sucks most of the time, but, you know, we need a contingency plan to deal with these assholes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alrighty. Next. Our next story is that, obviously they're going to be starting a new Star Trek movie soon because it's a major cash cow. Apparently, J.J. Abrams, even though he's not directing the third Star Trek movie, is he's creating a space for William Shatner to fill. William Shatner is going to be in the next movie, according to him. He said, quote, I'm calling Bill because the director of Star Trek, the next movie, has had an idea where you might be involved, speaking to William Shatner. So I'm calling to find out whether you'd be interested. And Shatner said, well, you know, if it's meaningful. So it's not just that he wants a role, it's that he wants a meaningful role. So it's not just, he can't just cameo, it's gotta be something.
Well, and they did that with, Leonard Nimoy in that first one, and, well, of course, and the second one, obviously. And I thought that worked out beautifully, but I don't know how many times you can play the time-traveling wormhole card.
I absolutely agree.
And so, I mean, they could have him in there. What I would do is I would put him as a different character, just like another Starfleet colonel or general or something.
But at the same time, have it be a meaningful character.
Pivotal in the story somehow, but not Captain.
So it's more a meta wink of, hey, that guy used to play Kirk, as opposed to, hey, it's old Kirk.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's plenty more characters in the Star Trek universe that could be expanded upon, like they did with Admiral Pike a little bit. I don't think we need to say, hey, old Kirk, bring him in, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, what? That points to sort of a little bit of a stagnation if you just start reusing the same actors and the same characters over and over.
Well,
and
yeah,
over.
I mean, hell, you could, obviously, we've already kind of expanded upon the whole Spock Prime thing, so why not take a smaller character, Spock Prime, that's what they call him, Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, gotcha.
Old
Spock
Spock.
Prime. Okay, gotcha. Okay, sorry.
What if you, I don't know, took one of the smaller characters? If you took, say if you took Chekhov and gave him his own offshoot, or Uhura, or I don't know, even Scotty.
Well, and
Scotty would be amazing.
well, they're all crew on the Enterprise. I mean, at the time, that is like the premier, flagship. It is like that is a gold star on your resume. You got to so you got to think these people all have careers after that.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be really cool to look at.
Next story.
Okay, well, yeah. William Shatner. We'll see what happens.
I think it will be great.
Oh God.
Same.
Let's just ham it up a little more, shall we?
Oh, I will.
Way to Shatner that.
Challenge accepted.
Oh,
damn it.
Nope. Next, speaking of terrible ideas in Hollywood, they are making a Tetris movie.
No.
But it's not just that they're making a Tetris movie. They are making a Tetris movie because brands are the new stars of Hollywood. It's not actors, not directors or writers. Now it's brands. Thanks a lot, fucking Lego movie.
That was a great movie, but if it started this shit, I'm a little annoyed.
Yeah, I'm out.
I just, I want to see what they end up doing with this movie, because my brain does one of two things, where the blocks themselves are the characters and are having existential crises, a la Wreck-It Ralph, or it's human characters, and it's like they're literally trapped in this space where giant blocks are falling and disappearing for some reason.
Like a dystopian Tron.
Yeah.
More than it
All of
already
those sound
is.
awful. All of those sound awful.
I have more info on that.
Oh, really?
According to Kasanoff, who's going to be producing, it's a very big, this is a quote from him, it's a very big, epic sci-fi movie. This isn't a movie with a bunch of lines running around the page. We're not giving feet to the geometric shapes. We have a story behind Tetris, which makes it a much more imaginative thing. So, no cute Pixar animated movie for you.
Huh.
Okay, so what?
So,
Did I see a thing that said it was by the same guy who did the Mortal Kombat adaptation?
Oh yeah, he produced the Mortal Kombat adaptation.
What were you saying, Jason?
nothing. I have hope if it's from the Mortal Kombat adaptation. I love the Mortal Kombat movies.
Well, yeah, but you have to admit they're great movies, but they're not really good movies.
Oh, they're terrible, terrible films, but they are unbelievable fun to watch.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Like a Last Starfighter version of Tetris?
Oh,
That.
no.
I don't understand how. What do they say? Epic sci-fi? How does that? It doesn't compute.
I think what's probably gonna happen is they're gonna make just a shitty sci-fi movie and then have it loosely tie in, like what they did with Battleship, where it's like a really shitty naval tactics movie that also happens to have bullets that look like white pegs that stick in the side of your ship. So it's Battleship, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath.
Why does
You heard it
Hollywood
here
have to
first,
continuously
folks.
make us
If it turns
sad?
out to be awesome, we all get to eat our hats.
You're all not wearing hats.
See, we're the smart ones here.
We'll share yours.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, we'll put it in the oven. It'll taste great. Seasoned.
Tasty.
You know what though? With enough cheese and salt, I mean, you can eat anything. You can eat a turd with enough cheese.
Okay, no, back to Tetris movie.
Yeah, let's move away from that comment as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Depressing stuff.
Sure.
Right.
Better than that.
Alright. Okay, so Tetris movie, keep that in your mind if you want to vote for it. Anyway. Our next story, actor Tracy Morgan was recently in a very huge car accident. His limo was smashed by a Walmart truck that was being driven by a Walmart employed driver who had been up for more than 24 hours at the time, and so was very drowsy. He had reportedly fallen asleep at the wheel. And he's in really bad shape. He's undergoing a lot of physical and neurological therapy. He's had to turn down quite a few TV and film roles. But now news is coming out that Walmart is refusing to, pay up on insurance claims because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt in his limo.
Yeah, they're claiming that it was the damages and the extent of things that he suffered, as well as the extent of the things other people suffered, including I think one person died, was because they weren't wearing seatbelts, which kind of legitimate. They probably wouldn't have been as injured if they had been wearing seatbelts. They also wouldn't have been as injured if their Walmart truck driver hadn't been up for 24 hours and crashed into them.
Yeah, I guess you're wondering whether if you look at the two hypothetical scenarios, well, the one is, not wearing seatbelts, wearing seatbelts. In both cases, the Walmart, the corporation, is still technically at fault. It doesn't matter whether he's wearing a seatbelt or not. Now, Absolutely. If they're talking about the amount of damages that should be sought, that can change that. But the fact that he has a valid lawsuit in that case, I mean...
Yeah. Well, and it's just like... Remember what I said about reserving your comments about shitty companies?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what Walmart does, is they tell their employees to work until they no longer can work, and then tells them to work some more. Like, that's their bag.
And then if they say no, they get fired.
Yeah.
And then if they say, we need a union, they get fired.
Oh, and if anyone does happen to watch this podcast, disclaimer, both Tayson and myself have worked for, the man, Walmart, at one point.
Yes.
He actually just recently was employed by them, so he knows what the hell he's talking about.
Yes, I do.
Please don't sue us.
Yes, it's not just generic
You're right, though.
For Walmart. It's earned.
Yeah. Plus, anything we say on here is protected by, the First Amendment.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but their free speech means they can sue our ass for our free speech.
Yeah, and then we can sue their ass and win because,
Except for they have really high-powered, expensive lawyers, and we don't.
True, but
again, the media. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're right though, Jason. The accident left comedian James McNair dead. It also injured Tracy Morgan's assistant, his wife, and comedian Artie Fuqua. I don't know who that is, but I don't know. It's actually considered. This tactic they're using, the seatbelt defense, is actually banned in 30 states. You can't say, if you cause enough damage to a car, you can't say, well, they weren't wearing their seatbelts, because at some point you're going to get severe injuries whether you were wearing a seatbelt or not. So this happened in New Jersey. That defense is not banned in New Jersey, but
hopefully it soon will be.
This may be precedent to ban it.
Yeah. Well, there's obviously the precedent that says even if it's not banned, it's not going to hold up.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
That's why we have, judges and case law,
Yeah.
At the very least, I really hope that this doesn't pan out in Walmart's favor, because maybe then they'll realize, oh, hey, maybe we shouldn't make our truck drivers drive for 24 fucking hours at a time.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
That isn't limited to...
that's illegal.
Well, yeah, but it isn't limited to just
illegal
Walmart.
stuff. They just make sure they can legally wash their hands of it first.
Yeah.
It's really depressing.
So hold on, you said he was in therapy. So when did this happen, and how long has he been? Was he in ICU for how long? Timeline.
I don't have details on how long he was in ICU.
I think this happened at least a couple months ago, because I remember seeing it all over TV for a while.
Yeah, it was a little while back. June 7th is when it was.
Yeah.
The news being that Walmart is being Walmart and being terrible.
Yeah, that's the
news,
current
of course,
news.
is that,
Yeah.
But let's see. He left the hospital on June 20th and is currently at home, but was moved to a rehabilitation facility.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's really sad because yeah, we won't be seeing him for a while, if ever. A lot of his doctors are saying he may not return to screen. So
Yeah.
it's really sad. We're rooting for you, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Walmart's assholes.
So
So yeah, Walmart,
Walmart's
is
assholes.
completely
yeah, Walmart is a bunch
assholes.
of assholes. Fuck those guys. Next story is Angry Birds movie. It's happening. It's coming summer 2016.
God,
And they have signed on all the comedians.
God damn it. I thought the Tetris movie was bad. Now I'm just I was sad, now I'm just angry.
Eh. Well, I have to say this, like, the Tetris movie, you have to give some due because I came up with more than one way that movie could be made.
True.
This movie, literally, like, it would be based, like, all I can think of is unless they take away the entirety of what makes Angry Birds, it's more or less just going to be watching someone play Angry Birds.
It's gonna be, I can see it already, it's gonna be an epic, like, rescue mission, and the pigs are gonna steal something from the birds, and the birds are gonna, like, go and, like, break houses and shit and rescue stuff. I don't know, but God, I'm not excited to see if I'm right.
That's not even the worst part, though.
What?
The producer they've signed on only has terrible animated films under his belt.
Such as?
It is John Cohen, producer of Hop, Ice Age, Robots, which wasn't bad, alright, Ice Age The Meltdown, Horton Hears a Who, and Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Dear God.
Oh, goody.
The worst
Yeah.
being Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah,
Okay,
probably.
and can you guys help me figure this out? How many times have we seen anthropomorphized birds doing something? Like, we got, like, Chicken Run, they had, like,
Happy Feet,
Happy Feet, they had...
Rio and Rio
Yeah,
2.
Didn't they have one about the pigeons, carrier pigeons, and
Oh, yeah.
Valiant.
Yeah, I mean, I keep seeing one of those like every 6 months.
Or whatever it's called.
Here's why those come out. People have children. Children need to be entertained.
Oh shit!
Really?
And children can be entertained by damn near anything.
Yes. So, kid sees cartoon anything, and I'm guilty of this when I was a child, wants to see
Y'all were.
it. So, parent, therefore, takes child to see movie to get child to shut up.
See, and it's funny because there's Angry Birds, the video game. It already exists. I guess as a kid, yeah, it doesn't enter into your mind that this is just gonna be like the same shit, only worse.
Oh, yeah.
And as a kid, you just don't care. It's shiny.
Flying things.
Though you do bring up a point in that now the iPhone has kind of started replacing the children's movie to a lesser degree, but family movies still almost always make money. And that's why
they're
do.
an easy cash cow. I mean, it's there is kind of this argument of, as parents, can you not demand better for your children in terms of entertainment quality? Can
But
you not
children don't really
expect
care.
better out of
That's the
the
problem, is they
lessons
just
being
wanna go
taught
see
by
it.
your children's media? But at the same time, I get the feeling most parents are just too damn tired to do that.
Yeah. They're making sure their kids don't die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's enough work.
I mean, and you do have to say that, like, kids are smart, so...
Their kids don't die.
Yeah.
I don't have to say that.
That's true.
But as I was saying, kids are smart, and they pick up on more than, we like to think they do. But, and so to a degree, like, I totally get why there's the movement towards more meaningful media for children. But at the same time, I never will fault a parent for taking them to latest bullshit children's movie number 37.
And has it always been like, because I have selective amnesia, I mean, you know this.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, it seems like, you have Tetris, they're trying to make a movie. And like you said earlier, brands become sort of the thing to be. Instead of like the stars, it's the stars of the brands. Well, so with this, you have Angry Birds. They try and take something that people already has a guaranteed fan base, or like children, like family movies. People are going to see them, and that's just what has it always been like this with kids movies. Because I remember growing up, it didn't seem like they were quite as derivative.
Not.
I think you could get away with more back then.
Yeah.
Really? Because I remember what was that, like A Bug's Life? That was they hadn't really done that before.
That's true.
Stuff like that.
To a degree.
That's one of the better examples, though. I mean, you watch some of the old cartoons you enjoyed as a kid, and they're shit. They're product placements, and they're terrible. And occasionally, like, say in the case of Transformers, you get a few gem writers who kind of sneak in a really good plot in there, but, ultimately, it is for the money, so...
Well, and that's the big thing with theater ticket sales going down because more people are just waiting for it to pop up on Netflix because it will. Like, with those ticket sales going down, companies are trying to get people into the theater more often.
Right.
Because they're making less movie per movie, so they figure if they make more movies...
Right.
And get it on brands that already have
difference.
Recognition. Yeah. That's why there's a lot of very, very poorly made movies actually making it into theaters nowadays. Yep.
Bummer. Well, maybe it won't suck. We can be optimistic.
We could, but see, that just takes too much energy.
But I've always been such a the glass is never empty because there's air and water in it kind of guy.
Now that's hopeless optimism right there.
Yep. Or hopeless pessimism because it's like I can never empty it.
All right. Well, next story. DC Entertainment has released a new line of T-shirts that is ruffling some feathers. The blog DC Women Kicking Ass first highlighted the problem with the T-shirts, which feature slogans such as "Score, Superman does it again," while engaging Wonder Woman in a sexually provocative pose, as well as slogans like "Training to be Batman's wife" and "I only date heroes." In a post for the site Comics Alliance, former DC editor Janelle Asselin summed up the overall response with a quote, "It is important to understand that if the characters are used wrong or presented wrong, it comes back not to the licensee necessarily, but to the company that owns those characters. It's for this reason that the fact that DC approved these tees or trusted these licensees enough to let them create this content unsupervised shines a bad light on DC as it makes moves to course correct and re-engage female fans." Because, I would rather have a shirt that says "Training to be Batgirl."
Yeah. Yeah, I understand the hate for all of those shirts, except for possibly the "I only date heroes" thing. Some people might like that.
Yeah, some people might like that.
That
I still
one,
think it's stupid,
I don't think is that big of a deal. The other ones, I'm like, yeah, that's probably not the best idea.
Well, and I don't know. This only lists a few of the shirts. I don't know what the whole line has. DC is kind of scrambling to, fix it. They have noted that certain shirts are offensive and they're trying to pull it and do some damage control, which is more than they've done in the past. So kudos for that.
Yeah, they would have
learned their lesson from the Harley Quinn debacle a while back.
Or the Catwoman one, or the Starfire one, or the...
I don't remember the Harley Quinn one. I remember all the other ones. What was the deal with Harley Quinn?
They had a artist contest where the one who won, like, the whole point was to basically draw Harley Quinn being sexy while also committing suicide, was the basic point of the contest.
That's
really
kind of weird and
disturbing. You're supposed to draw like a 10-page comic where she's naked and killing herself in a bathtub or something like that.
And what was the end goal of this?
It was a contest. You could get hired by DC if you won the contest. So not only are they asking you to create content for free, it's extremely offensive content.
Yeah.
Like,
that they might
DC's had
hire
a
you
rough
for.
bunch of years for PR.
What, Jason?
It's really offensive free content that they might hire you for if it's offensive enough, basically.
There's so many insults in there. It's like you don't know which one to quite choose.
Where do I even start? God.
Yeah.
With these T-shirts, I think at the heart of it, it's just a false choice, logical fallacy sort of thing. At least that's what comes to my mind, because you have...
Oh shit, that one's mine.
Somebody forgot to turn
that's
their
her
phone
phone.
off.
Continue.
Okay, well, while she gets her phone, okay, so you have these people
So
that buy...
professional.
Every goddamn week.
Oh, hell.
You get people. Sorry.
You know, and that's a sign of the times, man. You never know. It's like there's phones everywhere. Everyone's cameras and phones and microphones. I mean, everything. It's like, you know, like people with the tinfoil hats back in the early 90s? They were right. They were right. God. Anyways.
Moving on. People with the t-shirts.
Oh, God. Okay. So... you put out t-shirts and you say, well, people don't have to buy them, you know? And so you say, well, if people are buying them, then they must be okay. It must be what they choose. But it comes back to, like, these high-speed internet companies that we were talking about recently, a few weeks ago. Yeah. And how there's very few choices. And they say, oh, well, they choose, you know, you can choose one of these. But if you know, not choosing one really isn't an option. I mean, not that anyone's got a gun to their head saying, oh, buy one of these t-shirts. Yeah. But I think that you don't know whether they're buying it because they're being programmed by the man, you know, to be little girl drones that are supposed to do girly stuff and only be, you know, subservient to men, or if it's actually regular people buying these shirts because they think it's a legitimately funny joke. Yeah. And I don't know how you determine that on a policy basis. I mean, I think that's a person by person thing. I mean, obviously it's going to be a big debacle, you know. Yeah. But
well, let's be completely honest here, though. Training to be Batman's wife means buying a coffin. Traditionally speaking.
Oh. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. See, but they're assuming that girls don't know that.
True.
Yeah.
Which is a dick move. Jerks. Anyway. So, yeah. I don't know. I think it's kind of... Every once in a while you get this story that says, yes, things are improving for women in comic books and it's going to get better. But then something like this happens and it's like... It's getting better, but not in the mind of the general public. It's going to take a lot longer and a lot more steps to move past it, you know?
It's definitely doing the by degrees.
Yeah.
Well, and as long as there's, like, I mean, the fact that there's outcry at all about this, you know, I mean, the fact that there continues to be people saying, a large group of people saying, no, this isn't cool, don't do that shit. Yeah. I mean, that's...
Oh, that is half the battle, is having it be... Stop being dumb.
Now, I mean, are we just going to have to wait until the people that think that that's okay, like the current people working in the industry, until they sort of pass the mantle on to a newer generation that doesn't really pull that shit all the time? They aren't been trained to say, oh, yeah, that's what you do. You make, you know, these... Like, a contest to draw a
sexy Harley Quinn.
A sexy suicide version of...
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
you really have to read it to
disturbing on
believe
multiple
levels. Needless to say, that did get pulled nearly immediately because there was such a that's just fucked up.
Okay, but that really says something about the company that's doing it, the people in charge, because up the chain of command, somewhere that idea sprouted, and then at every step in the hierarchy, someone said, yep, that's good, checkbox, that's great.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it didn't get filtered out before it was released to the public. Like, that got out into our view. Somebody didn't filter that out, and that is kind of scary.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, like, just on one of those subjects of suicide, period, like, suicide it's obviously always been a problem, but it is such a relatively new problem as far as public knowledge thereof. You know what I mean? That's something everyone knows someone dealing with that now, kind of deal. So it's, whereas in previous generations, I'm sure it wasn't, you know, as much, where you
like it was strange if you knew somebody who committed suicide several years ago. Now it's just like, yeah, everybody knows at least somebody. Even if they didn't know him personally, they like went to school with him.
Yeah, or at the very least, like, what has been to that point, or knows someone who's been to that point and didn't, but gotten
Yeah.
close,
Tried.
you know? Like, so it really is just changing times is that, so.
Well,
And
yeah.
unfortunately, they're not changing quite quickly enough.
Well, and these guys, their PR department, I mean, they have no foresight. If this keeps happening, they have.
Well, they did release the Green Lantern.
You know what? That's exhibit everything. You know, that is. Because I saw like the first half of that movie and I just nope.
They
Dude,
played it
that didn't
on.
last 20 minutes.
They played it on loop at work, and just every time I saw it, like, because I only caught little parts, and every time I'm just like, ugh.
Let's move on to
why is this a
something
thing?
a little more entertaining. A little less depressing.
This is Depression, the episode.
Oh, jeez.
So, the Left Behind novels are being adapted into a film starring Nicolas Cage.
Again?
Again, yeah.
Wait,
But that's not the
repeat
best
that
part.
for me?
Wait, repeat that for me?
The Left Behind novels, it's a popular series of Christian novels about the rapture. It's already been adapted to film several times, but they're doing it again, and they're starring Nicolas Cage. It also features Jordan Sparks, Leah Thompson, a couple other people. And they've started putting out promotional marketing materials, but the interesting thing about it is they've got a poster that literally quotes Satan. The Prince of Darkness himself came out and said, "Please do not bring unbelievers to this movie."
Okay, the marketing ploy failed.
Yeah.
Right. Let's just.
Because the reason I love this story is because the underlying assumption
says,
is
"Don't bring
if
unbelievers
you
to
go
this
to this
movie."
movie and you're not a Christian, you'll come out and you'll be like, my eyes have been opened to the divinity of God, and now I have to go to church every goddamn Sunday.
But, gosh dang.
Oh, gosh dang Sunday.
You know, because you can fool God.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yeah.
know.
He doesn't know
actually
what you
read the
actually
first one of
mean
these
when you
books.
say that.
Me too,
Did you,
actually, yeah.
did you read any of the other ones?
No. just the
Okay,
first
yeah.
one.
So me and Tayson, we both read the first one. I actually thought it wasn't written too awful bad.
Oh, no,
I thought
like-
it was a good book. It just
Conceptually, Rapture is a very interesting subject, but I'm still an atheist.
well,
Like,
yeah. I mean, because I don't know if you consider atheists. I mean, I'm agnostic atheist. More descriptive.
okay, when you want to get really that's me. as
Okay,
well.
well, because when you say atheist, a lot of people say, "Oh, so you think for sure there's no God," and I'm like, "No," because I think that's retarded
that's because
too.
people don't understand what terms mean.
People don't understand what terms mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just try to be as descriptive as possible. But
Yeah.
okay, so we read this Left Behind thing. I thought it was pretty good. It just seems like at times it was a little heavy-handed with the whole,
Yeah. But, like, if you can suspend your disbelief and say, yes, all of this is true in this universe, it's a decent novel series.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. But, like, I don't think it's changing anyone's mind.
No. And honestly, them doing that on the poster, that's kind of like,
Oh, this is just waiting for riff tracks. I mean, it's got Nicolas Cage, it's got overt Christian methodology. It's just
well, and I can't remember the last time I saw a good Nicolas Cage movie.
Never.
Can you?
Never.
And this just seems like it's gonna be knowing Bible version,
yeah. I suppose that depends on what you mean by good and Nicolas Cage movie.
If you play quirky, upbeat music during The Wicker Man, it makes it kind of good in a very different way.
I don't know. I enjoy lots of Nicolas Cage movies, but it's not because they're good films. They're just Nicolas Cage going insane is entertaining to me.
Well, okay, I like Nicolas Cage as an actor. I really do. I think like
How?
I'm trying to be careful with how I say this. I think he's a good actor, but he's been doing
continue.
really terrible movies lately. Jason, what do you say something?
I was just saying continue.
You're like, continue with this bullshit.
Yeah, basically. I think Nicolas Cage is a terrible actor doing terrible movies.
Well, okay, my problem is they always have him play the same guy. And so I
Which
actually...
is ostensibly himself.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's an endearing character, you know?
When used
I
properly.
mean, okay, like, look at Gone in 60 Seconds. That show is actually... I like that. Okay, movies that are, like, so bad it's good. Face Off.
Oh,
I'm gonna take his face off, you know?
because it's going to look perfect on the other person.
I mean,
not gonna look
discounting
like a
all the
skin
other
suit.
shit with that just... No, man. Just no. Physics don't work like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I've heard he actually
Oh my
did
God.
really good.
what?
I skipped a name. It's gonna have Chad Michael Murray in it. The One Tree Hill, A Cinderella Story. Basically every shitty, terrible, mass-marketed for women.
Oh, Hallmark
awful-
Channel stuff.
Well, not even Hallmark Channel stuff. Just like young women.
Like
you know?
mainstream.
So
shit.
the CW, he is that whole channel, and he is terrible.
Okay, now be careful with the CW because I still like Supernatural. So
Well,
tread carefully.
Supernatural is the diamond in the pile of turds.
Yeah.
It is the polished turd, where it is museum quality.
You know, they actually polish turds. No shit. They do that. Look that up.
Okay, we're done talking about turds.
Yeah, why does that keep coming up?
You're just a fecal fetishist. today.
No.
Let's not start that rumor. At least not this early
Yeah.
into the podcast. Let's wait till at least episode
Okay,
like 10.
Nicolas Cage, shitty marketing move.
Satan.
Satan. Do we really think Satan cares?
See, that's if there was a Satan, he wouldn't care. So
Actually,
this is
arguably,
libel, technically.
Against Satan?
Against Satan.
I would laugh if the filmmakers actually got slapped with a lawsuit by somebody named Satan,
That would be
man.
fun.
like
there you
in
go.
the Middle East or something.
Or people who
That's
followed
racist.
the actual Church of Satanism. You know, you could argue
it's like,
that
this is-
you are misrepresenting my deity.
And they would actually have legal grounds to do so.
I would certainly
But all you
hope
have to
so.
say is, well, this is a different Satan.
Yeah.
It's a different Satan.
This is our Satan, not your
yours.
Satan. that doesn't
Only
exist.
we can use that Satan.
Oh, this is going fun places.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I'm enjoying this.
So the great
Well.
Satan himself is red and scaly with a bifurcated tail and carries a hay fork. And if you know where that came from, I love that movie.
Well, speaking of shitty interpretations of God and Satan, let's see. There was recently a screening on a new documentary in Russia that highlights the life of a gay teenager. The name roughly translates to Children 404 is the name of that documentary. But the showing, well, you guys remember, there's a really big gay propaganda law over there where if they think you're spreading, quote, gay propaganda, they will arrest you. And so the screening was broken up
Over where?
in Russia.
In Russia.
Let me see if I can find the
yes, yeah.
exact.
Because I remember hearing
St.
some stuff.
Petersburg. Lovely. They claim that they broke up the screening because they think that tickets were being sold to minors. But, I mean, you know, is that really...
Well,
What exactly is gay propaganda? Can somebody explain that to me?
See, that's what I
It's
want
like,
to know.
oh, we're
according
gonna
to-
make you gay. It's like, I don't think it works that way. I think you guys don't have a fundamental understanding of this thing.
you know, but so normal propaganda can't make you believe it either. It's just
Fair point.
Yeah, it's basically they're just saying anything that portrays being gay as normal, neutral, or anything other than a negative is bad.
Huh. Okay.
It's
so-
really a shame.
And it's up for interpretation by whichever lawmaker gets their hands on it.
you know because there's no gay people in Russia like at all. That can't happen.
Okay, you say that in sarcasm, in jest, but there are countries that, you know, literally believe. You go there and you ask about, you know, the gay community, and they will say, "Oh, we don't have that here. That's not
Oh.
a thing."
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, you do. You apparently just don't know about it.
Yeah. Russia is slowly becoming one of those countries again, but mostly because all of the gay people are just leaving. Because Like, it's not uncommon for them to actually be killed anymore, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
You know what? I almost
That's an
think...
improvement.
I think as long as there's a place, if people can reasonably, like, if people can move and have that choice as a viable option, then they'll move somewhere that's more accepting. And I think eventually people will move to places that are, and the places that won't, that places that people moved from will stagnate and either will eventually change their ways or will, I mean,
collapse.
I've
don't
never
know.
considered that to be a viable solution, though. You know, if you don't like it here, then leave. It's basically saying, ditch all your family, all your support system, everything you've ever known because of the way you were born. It's
Yeah.
Well, okay. But then that's saying what should be done, like, because we can talk about the idea that, you know, we'll really... most people, I would think, that are watching YouTube generally think that being gay isn't like this terrible, like... So hard to speak in generalities without screwing it up.
I feel you.
What you're saying is, on average, people who are on YouTube, at the very least, probably don't care.
I mean, at least they have maybe more of an open mind.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like you said, you talk about not being a viable option. It isn't. So you talk about what, in theory, should be rather than what could. What I mean, you're not going to change the politics of a large place. I mean, look, we can't even change anything in our own government. It's. I mean, really, by now, it's almost by
That's
chance.
so sad. I mean, I guess I am a little naive in that my solution is always, you know, why can't we all just get along and be friends and use our speaking words to solve our problems? But, you know, it is kind of depressing if we kind of say, well, we can't fix it, so let's move away.
To a degree, like, I would say you're both right, honestly, because, like, moving away shouldn't have to be your option.
No.
Like, I mean, it's good that it could theoretically be a viable option, but it shouldn't have to be.
It should be,
but at the same time,
like, a very last
in
resort.
Climate, yeah. And in the current climate that Russia has, it's entirely possible your entire support system hates you for being gay. So,
Yeah.
It's 2014 now?
yeah.
God damn it.
We're still this far behind what we should be.
Do you think if we could have just get over each other and play nice, we might actually be, you know, living in the stars by now?
Well, okay, and you know what, Savannah, like, I'm very, like, pessimistic about everything governmental or anything like that, and really, but at the same time, I do have optimism. I think the internet will eventually solve everything.
I sure hope so.
You see, and that's why he hangs out with me, is because I'm a force of pure positivity, apparently. So I guess we just universally cancel each other out, or is what he says.
You two are so cute.
Well,
I don't know quite what to say to that.
so after this podcast, I'll see you sometime next year.
Yeah. Maybe
Oh, don't be. Anyway.
Maybe I'll move to
I
one of
shouldn't
those
have
nice
made that
countries, like Russia.
All right.
All kidding aside.
They have vodka there right here.
Well, you can get that down the road.
I know.
Well, between 9 and 9 on not any day other than Sunday, but we won't
Utah
get into
liquor
that.
laws. Well,
Whole other discussion.
Yeah.
our final story. Twilight sequels.
No.
They are writing 5 short films to be released on Facebook. They will hold Stephanie Meyer and Lionsgate Studios will hold a competition to find 5 up-and-coming female directors who will win the chance to create the short flicks.
So on one hand, it's a force for good. On the other hand, they're watering down already watered down shit.
Yeah, it's not going to have any of the original actors in it.
That's basically going to
supposedly.
be like fan fiction of poorly written fan fiction, is what I'm getting.
Yep. The worst part, though, is that Michael Burns I think he's of Lionsgate. It doesn't specifically say. He gave the New York Times a quote that said, This is just the beginning, a template, if you will.
No.
You can probably guess what might be coming next.
I can't.
I can't.
I don't want to either.
My mind doesn't work in those dark places.
So,
What
yeah.
are they? Okay, wait. He says you can guess. Yes, I can guess, and every guess is worse than the last guess.
Maybe what's coming next is they'll destroy every copy that's on the Earth?
I don't want to live here anymore. Can we go to
I don't
Mars?
Don't want to live on this
live
planet anymore. Professor
I
Farnsworth.
think the most frustrating part is it's cool that you want to get up and coming female directors. That's really awesome because we need more chicks in Hollywood. But why Twilight? It could have been literally any other movie. Literally any other movie.
Well, okay, and they have short stories like written already about this. Is she involved in the writing of these new stories?
Apparently she is. She's the one who made the announcement, Stephanie Meyer. And yeah, they're based on her characters, but it doesn't, like, Kristen Stewart and them are not going to be involved in it, apparently.
Is it too much to hope someone kills that god-awful creature named Renesmee?
The little bastard
Don't
child
wish
thing.
death on children.
She won't be a child by then. She was a teenager by the end of the damn series.
Okay.
That's valid.
Part of me is saying, hey, they could suck less than those other ones because that's new stories. But then she's involved writing it. And then I realized, you know what? It's like trying to fix something that's already broken. It's like, yeah, I could make it better. Like, I could repaint, like, an old, shitty car from, like, the 70s that's just, one of these, like, economy cars,
That's already rusted out.
You could give it a brand new paint job, but do you really want to? I mean, if...
You're still gonna get, stung in the butt by a spring.
Ugh.
Youch.
I love the analogies we come up with here. They're just so great.
It's a good day for
I was gonna
analogies.
use a turd analogy again, but then I
How
stopped
many times
myself
do we have to
because
go there? One podcast.
no. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Well, okay. When we have so many stories about stuff that is obviously a piece of shit. Shit comes to mind. I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
Okay, so when do I have to when do I have to go into the bomb shelter? When's this stuff coming out?
Let's see. I don't think they have an official announced date yet.
I hope.
It's weird that Facebook is going to be the venue, though. You'd think.
Really?
Yeah, they're going to be released on Facebook.
But does Twilight
Really?
even have
Because
like a
Facebook is-
following anymore?
Following?
I mean, I thought I had hoped that had just died. Finally.
Okay.
Once the final movie
I'm gonna make
came
a
out.
confession. I at one time did really enjoy the Twilight novels, but that's when I was part of their core fan base, which is extremely lonely, extremely sexually repressed 16 to 18-year-old Mormon girls. That is the only audience left.
Yeah.
Well, and all those, they're all growing up. So it's like...
Yeah, but you see,
New
people
ones
who are
always take
like
their
that
place.
tend to not grow up.
Okay, good point. They're mentally and emotionally stunted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some people break out.
Some Mormon mothers also really like it because they're
That is true. That was
Nope,
the
I'm not
creepiest
gonna go
part.
there.
That is
No?
true. That was the creepiest part.
Well, what do Catholic priests say after someone has confessed? They say, do so many Hail Marys or whatever. Your sins are forgiven, my son, or whatever.
Daughter.
Yeah. Because that's that kind of confession yields that kind of response.
Thank you for your forgiveness. It doesn't have an official release date, so you're gonna have to just keep that bunker warm.
We'll just keep it well stocked.
Okay.
Get some MREs.
This is Marius.
Disturbing news. What other disturbing news do you have?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. We can vote on those stories unless you have some other bad ones.
I don't know. They all feel pretty equally shitty.
I mean, the saving the Twilight one for last notwithstanding, what do you guys think?
Tetris, the movie. Twilight, the sequel. This is kind of hard. Okay, I think in my mind right now it's the Tetris and the Twilight. I think are neck and neck for me. What are you thinking?
I honestly can't even decide. It's like sitting looking at like rocks that the scientists tell you were once turds, and so you're just kind of like you can't tell.
Turds again?
Yes,
Really? Okay.
yes. And
Fossilized turds.
You see, it's different. It's scientific.
It's a dinosaur turd.
And you're looking at them all, and they say, "But these are different," and I'm like, "But they're all brown and rock shaped."
And I guess it's a devil we know over devil we don't.
Do you want me to re-announce them so you can kind of decide?
Yeah.
By all means.
Okay, so let's see. The Lizard Squad's DDoS attacks again. William Shatner is going to be in Star Trek 3.
I'm actually okay with
Me
that.
too.
One.
The Tetris movie. Tracy Morgan versus Walmart. What is this one? The Angry Birds movie. The DC's line of sexist t-shirts and their outcry for that. Satan getting quoted for Left Behind marketing. The controversial screening of a gay teen documentary in Russia. And the Twilight sequels.
My favorite one is the Satan quote. That's the one I find most enjoyable.
I like that.
The Satan quote.
Yeah.
Satan quote.
Yeah, well, I think that's the one that has the most,
Hilarity.
spice to it.
Non-believers to this movie.
And I honestly, I'm kind of at a toss-up between Russia and Twilight because Russia sucks, but Twilight sucks a little worse. But Russia impacts more people directly.
Yeah. My thinking on it is I want to say that the Walmart thing is the worst, but Walmart is full of assholes, so I kind of expect that. Same with the Lizard Squad thing. We know they're assholes, are going to do asshole things. Same with Russia, so none of that stuff really surprises me. So I'm going to say that the Twilight thing is the worst thing. Because the other stuff doesn't surprise me. It's exactly what I expect from those people.
Man, I should have led with that.
Well, and it's the difference between actually tragic and comedically tragic.
Tracy Morgan thing, actually
tragic.
Yeah, actually tragic.
The Nicolas Cage doing the Left Behind, actually tragic. Twilight movies, comedically tragic.
You're like, oh god.
And you know what? I mean, we've already been scarred from Twilight, but the Tetris, may or may not actually happen. So
That's true. I mean, it is officially announced, but we'll see.
So we're in agreement on Twilight?
Yeah, I think
Twilight
so.
is the winner. If you disagree, if you think one of those is worse, or even if you agree and you want to talk about Twilight some more, because we all love talking about how much it sucks, feel free to post in the comments below and, make your voice heard.
So, funny quip about the first Twilight movie way back in the day. I was one of those people where I'm like, this is going to be terrible. My cousin Tyler, the very one that called me earlier today, was not going to let me go with him to the Twilight showing because I was going to make fun of it during the movie.
Oh, don't out people.
Out people.
Don't
Out all the people.
people.
Out all of them.
All of them.
In his defense, he ended up making fun of them with me.
Okay.
Oh,
That same
well.
day. He just was really angry with me leading up to.
yeah, well, I'm not going to make fun of anyone to seeing the movies because I got tricked into reading all the books, and if you can think about how that happens, you have to be not the brightest bulb in the box for that to happen in the first place.
I personally was sexually desperate is how that happened.
Too much info.
Was it to get with a girl, or was it because you
Yeah.
got with
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that it was to get with a girl.
Okay.
He give him the benefit of the doubt here.
Well, I just had to make sure. I mean,
And
if you're into that kind of thing, I'm not gonna judge, but
you're kind of
You're
judging.
gonna
I'm
judge.
kinda
You're
judging.
definitely gonna judge.
No, the really sad part is I didn't even end up with her, so...
well, that's usually how those stories end because
Yeah.
nobody can ever be as perfect as Edward.
Sparkly
No.
vampires.
In my
With freezing dicks.
in my particular case, it was because she had a larger crush on someone of the same gender.
Oh.
Well, that's not something you hear every day.
No.
Well,
Well, I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment below, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more of this content. Let us know what you think.
follow us on
Don't
Twitter.
forget to forget that last bit.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for watching and user input. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's End User Input podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and favorite, and leave a comment below. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at the links provided below. Also follow the links to relevant content. See you next week.